allow me to introduce the OF1010 router from Festool. This little baby here comes in weighing at 2.7 kg, which is a nicer weight compared to the heavier model, the 1400, which is 4.5. So that takes a lot of effort to pump vertically, whereas this one is now going to make my life a lot easier. When I hang doors and install door hardware, I love to use routers, jigs and templates. And this model will go really well with, say, the Festool multifunction template or the trenching template, which is this one here. It can screw up into the base of that, just like it does with the 1400 model. And it just makes life so much easier. And you've got the dust extraction port to work dust free. It's just a professional way of doing things. This is suited for using templates, jigs, routing with the copy ring. Not so much for freehand routing because the view window there is a bit small, so it's hard to see where you're cutting. But using a copy ring in a template like this, it's brilliant. It's nice and compact. It's very similar to the 1400, the way they've redesigned everything. All the settings are the same, which I really love. Also, with these preset adjustments, 1400 model and the earlier 1010 model, you needed a slotted screwdriver to adjust these, and you'd stab your fingers sometimes if you slipped off. But now, you just use an Allen key, which is a lot better, and it can't slip out and you can't stab your finger. So I like that upgrade. There's something really nice about routing, and when you use this with a template or a jig, it makes installing like door hardware so much easier. The best way to do it is to attach a copy ring to the base of this. This is the Festool 17mm copy ring, and that saves you from nicking the edge of your template, because when you use a flush cut bit, accidents happen, and when you're working fast, as you can see here, I've nicked this one. So I did away with using flush cut bits, and I always use copy rings now with the Plunge cutter. Setting up the 1010 router is the same as setting up the 1400 model. For an example, if we were to embed this into the tabletop, which is 2.5mm, the setup would be like this. First you drop the cutter down hard to the table, lock it off. We're going to use this rod and these stoppers here. I'm going to drop that down, sit that underneath it and put it hard down like that. Lock that off. Now I like to release that a little bit because it's tight, so I don't scratch the finish of this. So I'll go 2 clicks up, I can take that out, 2 clicks back down, and that's it. Release that. Don't forget to release that, because when you start it up again you could cut where you don't want to cut. That's how we do it. That's the thickness exactly. And if it's not exact, you can always move this, which is a fraction of a millimeter either way, until you get it absolutely perfect. So you could try on a test piece first. Attaching the copy ring is fairly easy. I'll flip it over like that, and it's nice and sturdy when it's upside down and doesn't want to tip over. I tighten that up so it's nice and firm to work on. I've got 2 screws to remove. Here I've got the Festool T18, and the bit I'm using is a S2, star 2. It's the Festool type of screw. So what I'm doing here is removing this dust catcher, which works with this dust extraction port. With the drill, I have the torque setting set to 1. So I'm not going to over tighten it, and it's sounds digital. I'll check that for center, and I can do that by turning this around while sighting down the middle, and that looks very centered. So now that's on, and it balances on the copy ring as well. Look at that. The great thing is the cutter cannot reach your tin plate once it's down. And then it just glides around the shape of whatever you've set it to. And you set up the vacuum hose to the dust port, and you've got dust-free routing very neatly and accurately. And also on the side here, if you were routing on the edge of a straight edge or something, but it's slightly tipping on you, well, this is what that's for. You drop it down and that stabilises it. So now it's a perfect run. Another cool feature is when you want to make straight lines on a door, say, or put grooves up any sort of panelling, you need dead straight lines. Well, that's why you use the Festool track combined with this attachment. What we do is just slide that on easily, tighten the two screws, and now you've got a perfect straight guide. For grooving, doing rebating, you can't beat that. And it glides so well. It always feels like Christmas when you get a new Festool power tool. So I look forward to making more videos demonstrating the use of it shortly.